everyone, good morning. Welcome to Market Fatafat right here on ET Now. Your daily dose of all the movers and shakers wrapped up in 30 minutes. I'm Mubina Kapasi. Markets looking pretty good. We're holding on to gains above 10,650, and I think it's safe to say that now finally we seemed, at least for now, to have snapped the 8-day losing streak. The Sensex too has gained about 233 odd points. The broader markets advancing in tandem with the benchmarks. But let's kickstart the show. First up, by introducing our guests who are going to be joining us over the next 30 minutes. We have with us Soumya Sharma, Siddharth Bhamre will be joining in a bit. And on the technicals, Kunal Bothra and Chandan Taparia from Motilal Oswal are joining in. So good morning to all of you. Thanks for tuning in. But the very first stock that we want to flag off today on the show is the entire ADAG pack. You just heard the news with respect to the Supreme Court holding Anil Ambani in contempt for not paying up the 550 crore rupees. My colleague Abhimanyu Sharma joins in for more on that. Abhimanyu.
The Supreme Court has held Arcom, Anil Ambani and several other sister companies guilty of contempt on the plea which was filed by Ericsson over non-payment of 550 crore rupees as mandated by the Apex Court order, which was to be paid by Arcom to Ericsson. The Apex Court today has held all these parties guilty of contempt. They will have to pay an amount of 453 crores within the next 4 weeks, failing which Anil Ambani and several other heads of different related companies in the case will have to face an imprisonment of 3 months. The Apex Court today held all these companies guilty of contempt. The court observed that the companies deliberately did not comply with the Apex Court order and had given a false undertaking before the Apex Court as far as their inability to pay the money was concerned. The court also held that these companies had also wrongfully submitted that there was no benefit which was accrued to them as far as this case was concerned. However, these companies earlier had submitted that they were unable to pay the amount as mandated by the Apex Court order since they were undergoing insolvency.
And all the AG stocks crumbled quite a bit post this news. Thanks, Abhimanyu, for that. Well, next stock that we are flagging off is L&T. And Kunal, what are you observing here?
So the last 5 days we've seen a very decent recovery for the stock price from 1200, 1205. It's rallied almost 75 to 80 rupees. Now on the short-term charts, there is still some bit of more upside left before the indicators come back into the extreme overbought territory. As of now, I believe L&T could sustain this uptrend, and maybe another 1–1.5% further upside from current levels could be visible in the very near term.
All right, so that's L&T for you. Chandan, let's talk about Corporation Bank. You know, the entire mid-cap PSU banking space is buzzing. There's the entire PCA buzz that's perhaps keeping these stocks active in trade. What would be your view here?
Yeah, this stock has been falling down from last couple of trading sessions, but in last 2 trading sessions it has managed to respect its multiple support of 24 zone. So medium-term trend is pressure, but on short-term basis it finding some support near to 24. So because of that, some bounce could be seen. So here those who are looking for long position are suggested to keep stop loss of 24, and stock has potential to bound to us 27.5 kind of levels.
Okay, so that's a technical perspective coming in on Corporation Bank. As you can see, on an intraday basis, we saw quite a stock spike come by. The next stock we want to flag off is Nalco, not for the reason, of course, that ICICI Prudential Mutual Fund has bought about 95 lakh shares into the company, but for the fact that this one is showing quite a divergent trend compared to the other metal names. I mean, take a look at the Nifty Metal Index. It's one of the top gainers today, but it's only Nalco that's really putting a lid perhaps on the gains. It's lower by 2.6%, so really bucking the trend there seen as opposed to the rest of the metals pack. Nalco is in fact the only stock that's in the red, trading sub the 50 rupee mark as opposed to the rest of the metals pack, which is buzzing away today in trade. So that's an interesting trend seen in the aluminium major. Siddharth, let's talk about Exide Industries. This as well is a big mover today in trade. It's down by 1.8%. What are you observing?
And look at the volumes moving now. Volumes of last 1 week average and today's volume, there is a difference of 4 times. 4 to 5 times volumes are higher, and that is in first 2–2.5 hours. So certainly there is something big which is happening. Now look at the direction of the price, which is on the downside. Look at the built up in future segment, more than 20% rise in open interest, and volumes in futures are also 400% higher than the yesterday's volume, clearly suggesting that there is some substantial amount of shorting which is taking place, and stock has on intraday basis, and if you can show the intraday chart, has bounced from its long-term support, which lies around 192 odd levels, and from there we have seen an intraday bounce. But overall there is pressure on stock, and these are formation of short positions.
Okay, so while it's bounced from the day's low, there's still formation of short steel. Kunal, let's go across to you. Of course, like I was saying, metal stocks certainly are perky today. JSW Steel is what you're flagging off.
Yeah, I think individually many of these metal stocks are going through a coherent upside. I think maybe a cascading kind of an effect. Where one stock rally in one stock is causing rally in the other stock as well. But nevertheless, JSW Steel is now looking quite robust on charts. The last 3 weeks it's been consolidating in the range, and I think if this up move continues into the stock price, it could challenge its a major resistance, which is around the 280, 282 mark on spot levels. So from the near term, I think 280 could be an immediate target for JSW Steel, but a crossover of that could lead to a substantial upside from a short to medium term view.
Okay, 1.9% higher for the metal stock. Let's talk about Maharashtra Seamless then. And this one made an announcement on Wednesday in the morning wherein they said that they have acquired a hot roll seamless pipe manufacturing company for a payment of 477 crore rupees. So the company's name is United Seamless Tubular Private Limited. It's done so under the corporate insolvency resolution process. As per the IBC, it's been approved by the Hyderabad bench of the NCLT. And this is something that's causing the stock price as well to go higher in trade, 2.6% higher on the back of this acquisition. Chandan, let's talk about CG Power. We have been seeing a lot of pricing momentum come by in the stock price of late. What would be your strategy here?
Yes, overall trend of the counter is negative, but in last couple of trading sessions we have seen some bounce from the lower levels and then it has been consolidating. So I think bounce could be sold again. But 33 is the major hurdle. Until it remains below, the same weakness could continue. So here the suggestion is sell on bounce back move. Sell if it comes near to 30.31, use the stop loss of 33, while on downside it has potential to retest the recent swing low of 26.25 zone.
Okay, so that's CG Power completely off the day's high as we speak. Soumya, after the RBI wrap, Yes Bank has clarified on the same.
Yes, the company has offered clarifications on the exchanges on its decision to release part of the confidential risk assessment report, saying that RBI mandated only divergence part be made public, and as a result, the company made this disclosure or disseminated this information to ensure information symmetry among all the market participants. Well, it says that it has not made any undue benefits by disseminating unpublished price sensitive information.
Okay, so Yes Bank is higher by approximately 1%, post that clarification. All right, let's talk about Jindal Steel and Siddharth, can't get a rise of that one. It's been gaining for the last couple of days.
Some of our technical experts have been recommending this stock as a buy call, and that's done really well. Even in if you look at today's metal pack, where you highlighted the divergence in Nalco, but even if you look at the metal pack, Jindal Steel is best performing stock in that space, and this is not a short covering rally. We are seeing formation of long positions. Now we know, Mobina, that, and you know better, that metal stocks have been underperforming. There are a lot of short positions, and if the rally is because of short covering, then you raise question marks that whether this rally would sustain or not. But in Jindal Steel, we are seeing formation of long position. 144 was the resistance that has now been decisively breached, which is a sign of strength rather than just a short covering bounce.
Okay, so that's a strategy on Jindal Steel, or rather observation on Jindal Steel. But Kunal, what's your strategy then on Century Textiles?
So the last 3 attempts, the stock has been trying to breach the 700, 710 mark. It's taking a good support at those levels. But when you look at the hourly charts, there is a third, rather 3 times support. The stock has taken on the indicator front on the hourly charts, and that itself indicates that there could be a case of a positive divergence set up into Century Textile. I believe that the 720 or 715 support is now a very crucial support for stock price, and keeping that as a base, traders could look at a buy with 760 as an immediate target.
Okay, so that's Century Textiles. At this point, it's higher by a little over 2%. Take a look at Cummins meantime. Quite a lot of buying seen over there, almost 3% higher today. Remember that the management spoke exclusively to ET Now, wherein they did say that they're investing heavily in electrification and fuel cell technology. They're making diesel engines efficient, and that is something that's their key focus given the entire buzz around BS6. And they're also planning to reduce emissions by 75% from diesel engines. So that as well is a big trigger for the stock as you can see on your screen. 684 higher by 3%. Chandan, can't get a rise of metal stocks. What are you observing in sale, and what's the strategy you recommend?
Yeah, we have seen buying interest in most of the metal companies. Here we have seen selective build-up of long followed by put writing activity. And it seems that after a weakness of last many weeks, these stocks are forming some support-based buying. So especially if I talk about the Steel Authority, from last 3 weeks the stock has been finding multiple support near to 44, and because of that a bounce towards 50 to 53 cannot be ruled out. Even the same kind of setup is seen in Tata Steel. Jindal Steel also has given a breakout. So positive momentum is likely to be there, and in Steel Authority we are looking for an up move towards 52 to 53.
Okay, so that's sale for you, 3% higher. All right, okay, there you have it. Those are visuals of Finance Minister Arun Jaitley. He is just arriving. I think he's arriving for the GST meeting, and this one certainly will be an important one, given the fact that, for one, we are watching out for the realty, the realty bit as to what are they recommending. Remember, the GOM on GST on housing has submitted their recommendations to council, and that should be Finance Minister Arun Jaitley resuming his duties, no doubt, after that month-long sabbatical in the United States. There you have it on your screens. He's just about getting off, and he's entering the Finance Ministry as we speak. This is for the GST Council meeting, an all-important one. And of course, stay tuned to ET Now. We'll be getting you all the action from North Block, all the action from the Finance Ministry as and when the GST Council meeting concludes. Like I said, it's an important one, especially if I have to watch out from what would come out in terms of the real estate provision. Okay, moving on rather, Soumya, let's talk about Indian hotels. Quite an uptick witnessed here.
Yes, Mubina. Well, the company plans to sell its non-core assets and simplify its holding as well. It said that it aims to be profitable by 2022 and is targeting 25% EBITDA margins for the same period. Apart from this, the company is entering homestay segment with a new business vertical called Ama Trails and Stays. Well, they also plan to open a new hotel every month. Well, this is what the company has been saying. Motilal Oswal has been bullish on this stock, particularly maintaining a buy stance on the back of all these developments.
All right, so that's Indian hotels higher by 2.8%. And Siddharth, let's talk about BPCL. OMCs today too are up and away in trade.
Mubina, if you look at IOC and Hindustan Petroleum and also ONGC, not BPCL, then you will see that there is a stark underperformance in these names compared to BPCL. BPCL has been doing well, and I'm talking positionally. So BPCL has been adding long positions from lower levels. It has been doing better than ONGC, Hindustan Petroleum and IOC put together. So if someone is taking any kind of exposure, one has to look into BPCL, and we are seeing fresh formation of long positions too in BPCL. So watch out for this name.
Okay, so that's a take on the energy pack. We'll do one thing. We'll just take a quick breather right here on Market Fatafat, but don't go anywhere. The countdown will continue. All right, welcome back. You're watching Market Fatafat. Let's just take a quick detour from flagging of those big movers and shakers. It's the 33rd meeting of the GST Council today, and it's expected that the Council will cut rates on under-construction residential properties. At present, there's a 12% GST levied with input tax credit on payments made for under-construction properties or even on ready-to-move-in flats. Now, ET, remember, reported earlier that the GST rate on such properties may be reduced to 5% without input tax credit, while in the affordable housing segment, the GST rate can be slashed to 3% from 8%. Now, the effective pre-GST tax incidence in the affordable housing category is anywhere between 15 and 18%. GST, however, is not levied on buyers of real estate properties for which a completion certificate has been issued at the time of sale. So this is the development that we are expecting when it comes to the GST Council. We just about some time ago showed you visuals of the Finance Minister Arun Jaitley entering the Ministry of Finance in all probability to chair the GST meet. So let's see what's the relief, especially for middle-class home buyers, that one can expect. Okay, well, that's that. Let's move on and talk about buzzing stocks. Kunal, you're flagging of Siemens. Why is that?
So the stock is trading now below its 250-day moving average. But if you look at it in the context of the last 4-5 months of price action, volume action, it indicates that the stock is now showing could probably be at a very strong support levels around those 950 mark. You look at it on the weekly chart patterns, even though it's midweek, but it's still forming a bullish hammer pattern on the weekly chart. So the stock closes around this 960 mark and for the week as well. I believe it could confirm this weekly hammer pattern, and that should be a very strong positive for Siemens stock price. Buy with a target of 1050 plus, and stop loss could be kept around this 900 mark.
All right, so that's Siemens for you, 2.25% higher. Meantime, take a look at Aarti Industries. The stock price is today seeing some action, especially on the back of the news flow. They have won a $125 million contract for specialty chemicals, and they've also collaborated with Global Chemicals. So these 2 pointers are something that are said to be an important trigger for the stock. The stock, however, has come off 0.8% lower. Soumya, meantime, SL Propack, some good news over there.
The stock has been buzzing, and the company received 40 crore towards repayment of outstanding debt of intercorporate deposit. Well, last month the company received roughly 25 crores, and it's expecting to receive the further balance by March 2019.
Okay, well, on that note, Soumya, Siddharth, Kunal, Chandan, to you as well. Thank you for joining in on Market Fatafat. But just before we wrap it up, Mindtree